Hey, what's going on everyone? Clocked It here, and this video is about the game series that have been gone essentially for the last 10 years, because as we know, there's a lot of videos going around at the moment where people are talking about their top 10 games of the decade, top 10 whatever of the decade, but these game series haven't had a new entry for at least 10 years, which in itself is a crying shame, especially for games that I personally love and have been playing for, well, you know, since they came out. So what I want to talk about here are, like I said, the games that haven't been around for 10 years. I'm including games that have basically not had a brand new fresh entry in the last 10 years, and these game series mean a lot to me, and I would personally love to see a brand new entry come in, and they are also series that I feel deserve to have new entries continuing. And it's always a shock to see that these games have not essentially returned with brand new entries within the last 10 years. So yeah, without wasting any more time, let's get into it.
Head to the go-go, baby! You want some? We'll come and get it.
So the first game series I want to talk about is Ecco the Dolphin. Now, I played Ecco the Dolphin on the Sega Mega Drive when it first came out. I thought it's just one of the most unique series to come not into gaming but also out of the house of Saga. And you know me, an animal protagonist. Anything that you can use an animal for to enhance gameplay experiences, I'm all for. And the Ecco the Dolphin series done this in many ways. But not only that, it was a beautiful looking game, and the soundtracks to this series are some of the best in gaming, in my opinion. So yeah, I would personally love for Ecco the Dolphin to return, whether it's a 2.5D entry or a full 3D entry. I'm not bothered. In Ecco the Dolphin Defender of the Future on the Sega Dreamcast, it actually mixed up both those styles of games where you actually went side-scrolling for a bit, but most of the games did full 3D. But yeah, we haven't had a new Ecco the Dolphin game, so that's what I want. The next game series I want to talk about is Power Stone. Now, Power Stone is another one of those Capcom beat-em-ups that just disappeared and never came back, you know, essentially after the Sega Dreamcast. But Power Stone as an arena-based fighting game, whether it's 2-player or 4-player, they had some great characters, great music, great combat, loads of fun weapons, destructible environments, good use of the environments, and it was just overall just a phenomenal, you know, series. It only had 2 entries. But yeah, Power Stone is just, I can't believe it hasn't returned, and I would love, absolutely love, for a Power Stone 3 to return, especially today when we're seeing a resurgence of couch co-op games, especially with the Nintendo Switch, where you just whip out the Joy-Con, 4 players, 2 players, and just jump straight into a battle. But Power Stone, yeah, man, you know, this series definitely needs to return. The next series I want to talk about is Oddworld. Now, I know you're thinking that we've had some fresh Oddworld games recently. We've had New and Tasty, but that's a remake of the original Abe's Odyssey. And now we're getting Soulstorm, I believe it is, which will be a remake of Abe's Exodus. So we haven't really had a brand new, fresh entry in the Oddworld series ever since Stranger's Wrath on the original Xbox, which was an absolutely phenomenal game. But the Oddworld series itself is one of the most unique in gaming, especially in sound design and art direction. It's just absolutely phenomenal. When I say can't believe, we know Oddworld is still there. The company is still there, and they want to bring Oddworld to the masses again. And I really hope they manage to achieve that, and we do get a brand new, fresh entry in the Oddworld series, because I really feel like it deserves it. The next series I want to talk about is Road Rash. Now, I can't. It's a bit shocking that I got EA on my list here, but I mean, this was EA, back in the day where you didn't hate saying their name. They were firing on all cylinders, fresh entries. But the Road Rash series is such an important series for me. I have played most of the games, but these are the only ones I got left now. But yeah, especially the Road Rash version and Road Rash 2. Especially the Road Rash version, on the Sega Saturn, and Road Rash 2 on a Sega Mega Drive. Those two games, they made me love motorbikes and made me want to have my own motorbike. But I think a modern entry in the Road Rash series would just be amazing, especially with online as well and everything. We've had some spiritual successes to it, but it's never the same. We always need the original stuff, and it's scary to think of what EA might do to it. But let's just live in a fantasy dream here, and let's just pretend that all these series that I'm talking about all come back and are absolutely as you want them to be, as they should be. So yeah, Road Rash, it just needs to come back. Next series is Waverace. Still to this day, absolutely phenomenal. Such a phenomenal game. I know we don't talk much about the Game Boy game, because in all honesty it's not great, but Waverace Bluestorm, even though it's not as mechanically tight as Waverace 64, is still a fantastic racer, and still to this day looks absolutely stunning. I can't imagine what a new Waverace would look like, especially on a Nintendo Switch now. Give me some of that HD rumble, give me some trick modes, some online multiplayer, maybe a proper, more fleshed out campaign, crazy weather effects, and just beautiful all round water physics and graphics, and I'd be in absolute heaven. Next up we have the Tenchu series. Now, the last entry brand new in the Tenchu series was Shadow Assassins on the Nintendo Wii, which wasn't great, but it was still fine. But this is the Tenchu series. The first game on the PlayStation 1 was essentially the first third-person stealth-based game, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. The dialogue, the music, which I got on my channel, go ahead and listen to the soundtrack, is just, in the whole series, it's just absolutely authentic and beautiful. And I loved the stealth approach to this game, where you really had to think about the patterns of the enemies, take your time, and it tried to be a more realistic ninja game to take on what the ninjas actually are and what they do. And Ricky Maru as a main character, Ayame, Lord Goda, all these characters, Tenchu is just, I just love it. And like I said, not every game has been amazing, but the fact that we've had the few entries that have been really good, it's a bit like Star Fox, where you just one or two entries can just make you just love and want that series more than anything else. But yeah, Tenchu, I want a brand new entry now. Next up we have Outrun. Now, I've done a video on Outrun before. Can Outrun survive without Ferrari car license? I think it could. Sega back in the day, they just made lots of great races with just fake cars, and just stuff like that. But Outrun, the last one we had was Outrun 2, and that was by Sumo Digital, and it's in my top 3 racing games ever. It's just arcade bliss, perfection, and fun with a soundtrack that will just blow you away. It's absolutely phenomenal. I love the power sliding, and I bought the update on the Nintendo Switch and the 3DS of the original Outrun by M2. Great conversion, but like I said, these are just updates and ports and of the original games. So I want Outrun 3, and I feel like Outrun is just a name in gaming. I should just be around. You know what I mean? It should just be around, and just to keep people engaged with just fun, just pure fun racing. And sometimes we just need that. Next up, we have BanjoKazooie. And this is another like one of those EA moments where do you trust the company to be able to make a very successful BanjoKazooie 3? And in all honesty, I don't, especially after Nuts and Bolts, which I believe came out more than 10 years ago. It's been that long. And BanjoKazooie is just one of those names that has just bounced back now thanks to Smash Bros. We saw this character design in that. We absolutely fell in love with it, and we're seeing a bit of a resurgence of 3D adventure games, all paying homage to what BanjoKazooie and Mario 64 done all those years ago. And BanjoKazooie, these are just characters that just should, they should be around. It's just no excuse really. And just BanjoKazooie, we need a main entry. We really do. Next up, we got the Soul Reaver series, and this is based off the Legacy of Kain series. And Soul Reaver with Raziel and Kain. Soul Reaver series has some of the best video game writing out there, even to this day, from the original game up to Defiance. I believe we nearly got a new entry, but it got cancelled. But I just want to see Raziel return with a modern engine. It's by IDOS, it's by Core Design. Let's base it off the Tomb Raider engine, that we have with the remakes, and just get a really good, solid single player adventure with some beautiful gothic architecture, vampires, just the works. It could be incredible, especially merging between two worlds again. I mean, Soul Reaver is one of the best games on the PlayStation 1. That's when I first played it, then I bought the Dreamcast game, and yeah, it just, in my mind, it should just be here. Next up, we got Jet Set Radio. Once again, another crime that this series has been abandoned. And Jet Set Radio is started the cel shading craze as we know it. The soundtracks to these games are just J-pop, heaven, absolute heaven. The characters, the worlds, just the fun of the game is just Jet Set Radio. I mean, sometimes you just want to snatch these games off Sega and these series and just say you're not doing anything with them. Give them to someone else, for God's sakes. Just give them to someone else. But Jet Set Radio, I would absolutely love for the third game to be released and obviously be great. And like I said, with all these series, we're living in this dream world where all of them would turn out to be great. And Jet Set Radio just needs to be here. Rolling on some more, and we have Advance Wars. Now, I was a huge fan of Advance Wars. As soon as it came out, some of the best turn-based strategy games I've just ever played. The characters are great, with Max and Andy, and just the whole crew. Advance Wars Dual Strike is just it's such a good game. Great online on the DS as well. You can create your own maps and all this stuff. Great campaigns. They can get really difficult towards the end. Great units to mess around with strategically. It's incredible, and this game should be on the Nintendo Switch. We should have a new entry on the Nintendo Switch. You know, Wargroove and all these games, you know, they could pay homage and stuff, but you know, with this series, there's just nothing like the originals. And Advance Wars, if it doesn't come to the Switch, I'll be stunned, but at the same time, I suppose not surprised, you know, because some series have just been gone for so long, you wonder why they haven't returned. And sticking in handhelds, we have the Golden Sun series. Golden Sun 1 and Golden Sun 2, The Lost Age on the Game Boy Advance are just Camelot games at their best. You know, it makes me cry that Camelot are being relegated to, you know, sports series as, you know, as good as it can make them be sometimes, because their RPG heritage with the Shining Force series, jumping on the Golden Sun and all this stuff, it's just, they're some of the best in the business at classic RPGs, especially, you know, Japanese RPGs. You know, Golden Sun Dark Dawn on a DS, unfortunately, it's still a good game, but it comes nowhere near the same heights as the Game Boy Advance originals, which is a shame, you know, because Dark Dawn, the art style wasn't great, and it had weaker characters, and it left on a cliffhanger. So you would expect a sequel, but it just hasn't come. Maybe because of sales or what, I don't know. But I've always said before that Golden Sun, you know, could have been Nintendo's Final Fantasy. That was until Xenoblade come along, and I think Xenoblade replaced it. Not necessarily surpassed it, but replaced it. But yeah, Golden Sun, where are you? Just where are you? Now, if you know me, you should know that I am a FZero fan. I have been since the beginning, have been since the end, you know, essentially with GX. FZero as a futuristic racer it's untouchable. There has, in my opinion, to this day, not been a single futuristic racer that has topped what the FZero series has been able to achieve. Not even Wipeout, which is the only other series that I personally don't think comes close mechanically or speed-wise or just fun-wise. But Wipeout is still a good series, but FZero, man, so many characters that could be easily fleshed out. I've talked about this before, but just the pure exhilaration, the thrill of the tracks, the soundtrack, you know, I could just go on and on about FZero, and it's just an absolute crime that this series isn't a standard series for Nintendo to pump out at least once every console generation. It's just a crime against video games, and FZero should be here every single generation. And lastly, like I said, if you know me, there is one series that just means the world to me, the absolute world to me, and that's the Panzer Dragoon series. We haven't had a fresh, brand new entry since Panzer Dragoon Outrun on the original Xbox, but Panzer Dragoon Saga, Panzer Dragoon 2, Panzer Dragoon 1 and Outrun, they have created game worlds that are just unique, and there is nothing else like them within gaming. Soundtracks that are nothing else like them in gaming. Panzer Dragoon Saga is, in my opinion, the best JRPG ever made. Panzer Dragoon 2 is, in my opinion, the best on-rails shooter ever made, and just the whole series has this aura about it that is otherworldly. And yes, we're getting, you know, a remake of the original Panzer Dragoon, but like I said, that's not a fresh, brand new entry, that's a remake, and we know we're getting another remake of Panzer Dragoon 5 from the same company at some point. But, you know, it's another Sega series that you just want to hand the reins over Give it to the original creators if they could just go off and make it themselves. But it's held hostage. And Panzer Dragoon, I would give anything for a brand new entry in this game. Of course, I would love a sequel to Panzer Dragoon Saga, but I would happily take a new 3D Panzer Dragoon shooter. Just anything, to re-enter this world with a brand new story, brand new characters, and just brand new music. Just anything. But yeah, like I said, I'm a massive Panzer Dragoon fan if you know me on this channel, and this series just needs to return. So yeah, those are my game choices there. Like I said, I could have kept on going. I could have selected more because there's a lot of game series that have been gone for a long time, and that mean a lot to me. But these are the ones that I feel like I would go absolutely crazy for. Absolutely crazy for. I could have put Pilot Wings on here as an example because we have Pilot Wings Resort, as much as I think that game is just not that great. The original Pilot Wings and Pilot Wings 64 are just clumsier, but we have Pilot Wings Resort within the last 10 years. And like I said, I can mention other games. But yeah, let me know the game series that have been gone for over 10 years that you would love to have a brand new entry in. There are so many great series out there that came out so long ago that we all just love and truly feel just deserve to be back. Just make sure that the games that you choose, they need to have an original and a sequel to become a series. Totally separate brand new games, and they've been gone for 10 years. But yeah, I had fun making this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll reply to every one of you. And just have fun. Let's just reminisce and just hope that some of these games can come back at some point with brand new entries. But as always, thanks for listening. Take care all, and peace.